In today's news, Transfer Seminar 2022 Passport to Opportunities takes center stage. Mrs. Globe BVI 2022 provides free pap test screening to ensure good reproductive health. Human population surpasses 8 billion for the first time in history. Duplicate names of voters posted for public review. Dr. Soomer weighs in on self-determination. We have the details of this and so much more when 284 News returns.
Freeze. Choose your mix. Choose your flavor.
Good job there, brother. All right. I'm surprised you're here.
I'm surprised you're still alive.
Charles, it's been 60 years.
I wish it was 60 more.
Let it go.
No, you know what you did.
It was just ice cream. But you know what? It was delicious.
What?
We're like a family get-together without all the family drama.
What you gonna do?
CG Insurance. Good like that.
Welcome everybody. It's Wednesday, November 16th, 2022. A happy Wednesday to each and every one of you. I'm Ron Grant, coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the Virgin Islands. Thank you so much for joining us. Beginning our newscast on the local scene here in the Virgin Islands, the H. Laverty Stout Community College will be hosting yet again Transfer Day Seminar, which allows students and prospective students of all ages to become more aware of the various opportunities available to them. The theme this year is Passport to Opportunities. Recently, I sat down with HLSCC Transfer Counselor Denise D. James and HLSCC Director of Student Affairs Andrea Ham as they discussed the Transfer Day Seminar 2022 Passport to Opportunities.
Okay, so the Transfer Seminar is organized for senior students at the college and also high school students, who are seniors, and of course our community. And so we want to ensure that when our students are preparing to go to college, they are ready to do so with the information that's necessary. And that includes having the academic preparation and of course the financial means in which they can actually go away to school. And so we have the Ministry of Education, who's also going to be a part of the seminar, be able to discuss scholarship opportunities for our students. And of course, the students get to meet alums who are also students at HLSCC to see where they're at now in their lives.
Understood. Now, is this the first time this seminar is being held?
This is the first, no, it's not the first time. The format that we have it in this year is something that we did something pretty new this year in terms of the format. But it's been around for the past 5 years, and I've been working with the Transfer Seminar for the past 3 years.
Ms. James outlined the panel of speakers as well as what persons can expect on November 16th.
Okay, so the 16th at the Eileen Parsons Auditorium. And so some of our presenters this week, I'm happy to say is Mrs. Melissa Mangal. She is the Senior Administrative Officer and also the Secretary of the Tribunal, and she's at the Ministry of Natural Resources and Labor. We have Mr. Akeem Robinson, who's a clerk at Walker's, and of course we have Dr. Ryan Kelly, who's a medical officer at the BVI Health Services, and of course we have Marcel Klein, who is a Senior Tax Associate with Deloitte. So those are the persons that we have. And of course, we cannot forget our host, Mr. Giovanni Herbert, who will be our host. And we're all excited that, he's agreed to do this with us. And so it's going to prove to be an exciting time.
Additionally, Ms. Ham addressed some of the more prominent issues students and prospective students face when they seek to further their education.
Well, specifically as it relates to transferring to other academic institutions, the number one concern is always, how am I going to pay for it? What is available? And so in doing so, we try to share with them that the college have a number of agreements with other institutions and universities that would afford our students who are seeking to transfer to those specific institutions reduced tuition costs and also lower entry requirements because they're coming in based on a special agreement between the H. Lavity Stout Community College and themselves. But that is the number one concern. The other concern that we talk about is, again, location,
Yes.
right? Oftentimes students know that they want to go someplace, but they haven't necessarily thought it through in terms of what they like in terms of weather, climate, cultural experiences, what exactly are they looking for?
How far from home are they willing to go?
How far from home they're willing to go, where do you have family members, social support networks, depending on what you want to study, where may be the best area to get the best educational experience, as well as developing yourself personally and as a professional.
The ladies touch on the role of the Student Services Department at the college and also made sure to encourage persons to reach out if they require any additional information or assistance.
So the Division of Student Affairs is a student services unit, and we're responsible for providing academic success initiatives, career development services, as well as personal and professional development through counseling and other opportunities outside of the classroom.
Okay.
And so this opportunity is really special and important for our students, alumni, and even members of the community who have thought about furthering their academic journey. Here in this particular session, they will learn a lot of information to help them make informed decisions in regards to location, geographic, where they would like to go and study, possibly hear from experiences of alumni who have studied in the US, Canada, and also one of the West Indian islands as well. So I think that by coming and getting this information in one place with the presenters, as well as we're having a special delegation from the University of the Virgin Islands.
Lovely.
So they will be able to get all of that information in one place.
For the entire interview, visit all Tweet4 media platforms. Premier Dr. the Honorable Natalia D. Wheatley has shed more light on the territory's news, more relaxed approach to foreign charters, a move he claims was influenced by concerns impending retaliation from the USVI government. More in this report.
Premier Dr. the Honorable Natalia Wheatley has indicated that the decision to relax the territory's policies for foreign charter boats was a swift intervention to avoid possible fallout with the U.S. Virgin Islands, whose government, Wheatley claims, was already preparing to retaliate on the matter. He spoke during a recent sitting of the House of Assembly.
This is an important step considering potential recent escalation of requirements that could have crippled traffic on both sides. We all know, Madam Speaker, that we rely heavily on access to the USVI waters. And let there be no doubt, the USVI government was prepared to implement retaliatory measures, if not for quick intervention on our part. In addition to the practical aspects of inter-Virgin Islands travel, we believe it is the right thing to maintain good relations with our USVI neighbors.
Effective November 15th, the BVI no longer requires foreign charter operators to obtain trade licenses or require that crew members working on these vessels obtain work permits. This reflects the removal of strict policies enacted in 2021, which slapped a fleet of new requirements on the industry. Wheatley noted that the removal of these policies was necessary while legislators worked on marine reforms.
It is important to note, Madam Speaker, that the decision to remove the requirement for business trade licenses is an interim measure while we work on broader ranging reforms in the marine industry. It is also important to note, Madam Speaker, that the decision to require trade licenses was only put in place last year.
Wheatley emphasized that despite the relaxed measures, it was not a free-for-all for foreign boaters, and they would still be required to undergo a process in order to operate in the territory.
I wish to underscore, Madam Speaker, that with the ease in requirements stated, foreign-based water taxi operators are still restricted to passenger drop-off at the ports of entry, and persons operating foreign charter companies are still required to obtain a commercial recreational vessel license from His Majesty's Customs.
The Premier anticipates that the USVI will respond in kind by taking a similar approach to BVI charter vessels. For 284 News, I am Jacques Wooding.
Viewers, when 284 News returns, Mrs. Globe BVI 2022 provides free pap test screening to ensure good reproductive health. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Introducing a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. It doesn't always involve suits and bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons. I'm taking you outside in the field to share the journey of some of the BVI's the best and brightest men. From East End to West End, Virgin Gorda to Jos Van Dyke, not forgetting Anigada. Our Virgin Islands gentlemen are doing the damn thing. We are the movers and shakers of this generation. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman. Season 4 by yours truly, Ron Grant. Raising a generation of greatness. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. on 284 Media. Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
There's a reason you get up on a morning. A reason you pick yourself up, start the day. Maybe it's sheer grit. Maybe it's your ethics. Maybe it's because you know people like you are waiting. For people just like you. We all have our reasons, and for Republic Bank, that reason is you. Every little thing, every big thing. It's all about making a difference in your life. Because after 182 years, if it's one thing we're sure about, is that the difference is you. We're here to help.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Viewers, welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking with us. You're watching 284 News out of Tortola and the Virgin Islands. Know, fix, live, win is the consistent message from Mrs. Globe British Virgin Islands 2022, Dr. Arlene T. Penn, whose platform is cervical cancer awareness and prevention. Dr. Penn is an 18-year-old cervical cancer survivor who is calling on females locally and globally to be proactive with ensuring good reproductive health. She has embarked on an initiative to provide free pap tests for eligible women in need. This is being done in partnership with Eureka Medical. It is through a free pap test screening in 2001 that I was able to learn that my reproductive health was threatened. It is through early detection that I was able to take the necessary steps to take care of my cervical health. I want women locally and globally to get an opportunity as well. I believe in what I am doing. Mrs. BVI 2022 says she is a firm believer that early detection saves lives. She also said, and I quote, "I am concerned that statistics from the World Health Organization show that in 2020 that some 600,000 were diagnosed with cervical cancer and some 300,000 women died as a result of cancer. Thanks be to God I am living, and now I have to do my part to help others. I want women to get their pap tests. I encourage males to encourage us as well. Reproductive health is both of our businesses." Now, viewers, screening guidelines are as follows. Age 21 to 29, sexually active and never had a pap test. Age 21 to 65, sexually active and had no pap test in 3 years. Once registered between the 15th to the 30th of November, appointments will be scheduled between the 1st and 15th of December. Females will receive a free doctor's consultation at their appointment. Register by calling 440-4122. Again, that number is 440-4122. She also said that to Mrs. Penn, I am inviting females from Tortola, Virgin Gorda, Anegada, and Jos Van Dyke to take advantage of this opportunity. Dr. Penn, who is currently preparing to represent the Virgin Islands in Mrs. Globe 2023 International Pageant, she is the 2022 spokesperson for Women in Need WIN BVI organization. She is also the 2022-2023 ambassador for the BVI Cancer Society. Now, viewers, additionally, Mrs. Globe BVI 2022 is the first runner-up in the Mrs. Globe 2022 WIN Song of the Year global competition and winner of the Reclaiming Me Song of the Year global category. Much congratulations to Dr. Penn and her initiatives. When 284 News returns, duplicate names of voters posted for public review and human population surpasses 8 billion for the very first time. And in addition, Dr. June Soomer weighs in on self-determination. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
You value traditions. Today, you value music. You value education. Family. I love you. Service.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Love. Life. At Popular, we're committed to you and everything our community values. For the things you value the most, count on us. Popular.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Why? This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What do you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What do you really? Hey, this ain't like you,
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out that trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I huff. I watching ball. I been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
Viewers, welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking with us. You're watching 284 News out of Tortola in the Virgin Islands. In a recent interview on Territory Talks hosted by Virgin Islands' very own Miss Shayna Smith Archer, Dr. June Soomer contributed significantly to the conversation of self-determination among overseas territories. Take a look.
Follow up with what was just said. I think that it is also important for those of us who are independent to recognize that our independence is affected by the lack of autonomy of the OTIs. I don't know if I should repeat that.
Yes,
but
please.
I think
Elaborate.
We cannot truly be independent. We cannot truly be free because that is the root of independence. We cannot truly be free as a people coming out of enslavement if the people, the rest of the region and the people who surround us are not also free. Wow. I say that because when I look at how the independence movements evolved in the Caribbean, we held each other's hands as we went along. So people like Errol Barrow from Barbados was very much in tune with bringing the countries from the OECS along the independence path. But we seem to have stopped in that process of decolonization and making the region free. We seem to have said, okay, we are independent, so let us move on with our business and let us see how we can we cannot affect the OTIs as a group, so let us invite them in as associates and so on. But why are we stopping at involving them as overseas territories? Why aren't we moving with them towards full decolonization? We have the opportunity at the United Nations to do that. Let us lobby the independent countries. You have to start speaking for yourself. You have to start speaking for yourselves. Let us lobby, because I am not too sure. I am in the Virgin Islands right now, and I understand that this country is a country that has been funding its own budget from the 1970s. There's no more granting aid here. We are doing things for ourselves, and I say we because I grew up every summer since I was 14 in the Virgin Islands. So I'm in love with this country also. And I understand the independent thinking of this country in bringing itself from being designated a bird sanctuary to where it is today, with a thriving tourist industry, with a thriving financial services industry. Why isn't it independent? Why isn't it independent? Now, these are things that we have to talk about with regard to our own consciousness as a people, our own consciousness as a people. And so I think that while you are still trying to bring yourself together, we have a role. We have a role in the decolonizing process that we have not assumed as independent territories, that we need to step forward away from our comfort zone right now and assist you in moving forward.
The Office of the Supervisor of Elections is urging the public to review a list of registered voters found to be duplicated entries in the current elections system. Supervisor of Elections Ms. Sherry Griffin said as the office moves over to a new and upgraded elections management system, efforts are being made to filter out these repeated entries of persons. Those are some of these persons, she explained, may have passed, while others may be two different individuals without enough information to differentiate between them. Ms. Griffin added that these duplicates in the system are one of the many reasons why upgrading is significant. She said, and I quote, "With occurrences like these that hinder the flow of the voter registration process, it underscores, rather, the benefit of prioritizing a much-needed change to a new and modern system." Ms. Griffin said. She added, saying, and I quote, "The office is hopeful that once the relevant persons listed as duplicates each reach out to us, we will be able to move them over to the new system efficiently." The Supervisor of Elections also noted that addressing the duplicates and overall voters list maintenance facilitates the office's ability to publicize a more accurate database of voters. She said, and I quote, "The office's capacity to publish an accurate database of voters can really help the public's confidence in our ability to administer electoral processes in a transparent and accountable manner." The duplication list can be viewed and accessed, of course, by duplicate names. That's bit.ly/duplicate names. If any individual sees their name duplicated on the list, they are asked to contact the Office of the Supervisor of Elections to verify their information accordingly. The office is located, if you did not know, at the 216 Upper Main Street at the Creakies Building, and they could also be contacted at electionsoffice@gov.vg or 468-4380. The Office of Supervisor of Elections say they are committed to providing and serving with integrity, general direction, and supervision over the registration of voters, the administrative conduct of free and fair elections in the Virgin Islands, and imparting efficient, reliable, and courteous service to the general public. A significant moment in human history was recorded on November 15th as the world population surpassed 8 billion. On the occasion, the United Nations is stressing that population growth places more strain on the planet and could exacerbate already worrying global conditions. Our Jacka Woodings has more.
November 15th, 2022 has been marked as a milestone in human development as the world population grew to surpass 8 billion people for the first time in human history. The Day of 8 billion, as it has been dubbed by the United Nations, reflects an additional growth of 1 billion people to the human population over the span of just 12 years. The UN has attributed this unprecedented growth of the human population mainly to the gradual increase in the human lifespan owing to developments in public health, nutrition, personal hygiene, and medicine. The UN also noted that high and persistent levels of fertility in some countries was also a significant factor. Most of the growth recorded occurred in middle-income countries across Asia, which over the past decade gained an estimated 700 million people to their joint population. India alone accounted for 180 million people, and as it currently stands, India is projected to surpass China as the world's most populated country in 2023. While the UN said that the arrival of an 8 billion population is an occasion to celebrate diversity and achievements, the organization added that it is also a time to reflect on humanity's shared responsibility for the planet. A growing population places even greater pressure on the global competition for resources and calls for emphasis on reaching a balance between human settlement and the food, water, and space left for the needs of wildlife. It is predicted that this growing competition for resources, combined with worsening prevalence of the effects of climate change, could result in future conflicts. This pressure is expected to be particularly impactful across Africa, small island developing states, and areas most vulnerable to the effects of climate change. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres reflected on the situation by saying, quote, "Billions of people are struggling. Hundreds of millions are facing hunger and even famine. Record numbers on the move seeking opportunities and relief from debt and hardship, wars, and climate disasters. Unless we bridge the yawning chasm between the global haves and have-nots, we are setting up ourselves for an 8 billion strong world filled with tensions and mistrust, crisis and conflict," end quote. Guterres noted that the first step to curbing the issue is recognizing that continued runaway inequality is a choice, and that it is a problem that lays on the shoulders of developed countries to address. He noted that the ongoing COP27 conference in Egypt and the upcoming G20 conference in Bali serve as platforms to get the ball rolling. Guterres said that he is hopeful that COP27 will see the emergence of a historic climate solidarity pact, which will unite countries in a common strategy to pool their resources for the benefit of all humanity. He stressed that to achieve this, wealthy countries must provide the necessary financial and technical support to assist developing countries to achieve their climate goals by transitioning away from fossil fuels. Guterres urged leaders at COP27 to agree on a roadmap and institutional framework to compensate countries in the global south for climate-related loss and damage that is already causing enormous suffering. While it took 12 years for the global population to grow from 7 to 8 billion, the United Nations predicts that following this milestone, birth rates will slow, and it will take approximately 15 years for the global population to reach 9 billion. For 284 News, I am Jacques Whitting.
Viewers, that's it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for your daily news updates at 284media.com, and of course, like us on Facebook at 284media and at 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Ron Grant. I will see you again tomorrow as we deliver your daily dose of local, regional, and international content. We are 284 News, your source for honest and impartial news, right here on 284 Media. I also want to take this opportunity to encourage you to view our number of feature interviews. In addition, this evening at 8 p.m., a brand new episode of The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, hosted by yours truly, airs. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Hello?
Wait, you had a long time to get? You say you were sick? What happened to our wedding rehearsal?
No, babe. I'm actually watching the news right now. Take a listen.
Topping our newscast today, UFOs seen around Tortola Pier